Every kid has a great story to tell. Have one? Well, we're listening. Send your best story to the New Indian Express's Bookworm Junior Summer Stories Contest, and you could just end up becoming an author over the summer. What are you waiting for? Get writing.
Hindustan Institute of Technology and Science. Take your first step toward a future in excellence.
Welcome to the very first session of Let's Debate, conducted by the New Indian Express, presented by Hindustan Institute of Technology and Sciences and MEIL, who are our partners. What is Let's Debate? Well, after the lockdown and the pandemic, which has been a very depressing time for most of us, we've decided to put together what is now India's largest virtual inter-school debate, and we're doing it this way. And we're very excited that we have kids from over 100 schools. We have kids from across the country, over 35 cities and towns, and they're all going to be bringing back the dignity that debate deserves. That's right. This isn't television. This isn't prime time. This is a debate which is going to put the decency back in it. And we're super excited to have with us two of our judges this evening. Thank you very much for joining us. We have Dr. Rajashri from You and Me Theatre. She's an author, she's an artist, she's somebody who works extensively with body movement, writing, and brings artistic creativity out of the children that she works with. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Rajashri. And from the TNIE family, we have Manjulata Kalanti, who's our city editor in Hyderabad. She's somebody who writes, travels, and she's somebody who lectures a lot as well. She works with young people. She's the recipient of multiple awards, and she also started the very popular Rice Bucket Challenge, which went viral in Hyderabad and on social media. Thank you, Manju, for being with us. The motion, of course, is homework should be banned in schools across India. Now, all of you know which side of the debate you're on. You're either for the motion or you're against the motion. And so we bring to us the very first speaker, who is Gurumitra K, who will be speaking for the motion. Gurumitra, of course, is from the PSBB Millennium School in Coimbatore, and she's joining us virtually. Thank you very much for joining us, Gurumitra. It's your time to speak.
Never stop learning, because life never stops teaching. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. This is Gurumitra from the Proposition House, here to speak for the motion, homework should be banned in every school in India. Education, as we all know, is the key to success. Not only does it develop an individual, but also the nation as a whole. Education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. Hence, it is important that the children of today, who are the leaders of tomorrow, are educated in such a way that they fall in love with learning rather than hate what they are learning. And homework never really gives a hand in this. The written work given by the teachers to the students to do away from school is despised by every student. Far from engaging them, the only thing the homeworks do is to plunge them into an anxious hour, making them yearn for it to end. It also makes them lose interest in studying, making the whole process of education truly tedious. And this is the main reason why I strongly speak for the motion, homework should be banned in every school in India. Firstly, homework eats up all our free time. The time that we use to finish our homework could otherwise be used to sharpen our skills and talents and unleash our creativity, because there must be a balance between work time and free time. Secondly, we already go to school for 6 to 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and 12 to 15 years. After having been at school all day, home must be a place where we will take a break, but homework prevents us from doing this. It also stops some students from having a good night's sleep, which can affect the students' health in many different ways. Thirdly, homeworks cause high stress levels. We don't get the time to go out and exercise. Thus, homework affects both our mental as well as physical health. Fourthly, family time is highly restrained because of homeworks. Family time, as we all know, is one of the most important things of life. Spending time with our families makes us realize the importance of relationships. Homeworks also make us feel tired, and surveys show that it has a negative effect on the student's health, an overall negative effect on the student's health. Fifthly, homeworks provide no real benefit. The more the homework a students get, the more the homework a student gets, the less they want to engage in learning. Thus, homework discourages the student to learn. Instead of assigning homeworks, the teachers could assign different fun assignments like reading a very interesting book, visiting a museum, organizing a program, etc. This will help the student in being more active and enthusiastic. To sum up, a study by scholar Denise Pope has revealed that out of 4,300 students at high performance schools, 60% of them regarded or stated that homework is a primary source of stress. Too much homework can also lead in lack of sleep, exhaustion, headaches, and weight loss. This again is the main reason why I strongly speak for the motion homework should be banned in every school in India. The secret of the educational success of the schools in Finland is that they provide the least amount of homework to their children. Live as if you were to die tomorrow and learn as if you were to live forever. And with this, I would like to rest the case on the table. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Guru Mitra. That was great. All right. Well, the first speaker who we have against the motion is Trisha Menon from the pupil Savita Eco School. And Trisha, are you ready to go?
Nothing is more powerful for your future than being a gatherer of good ideas and information, and that's called doing your homework. A very good morning to all present here. This is Risha Menon, and I'm here to strongly oppose the topic homework should be banned. Firstly, homework is defined as a piece of work assigned to students that should be completed outside regular classes or research for discussion or preparatory reading. So it is a certain time is allotted so that students can prepare themselves for future exams, where time is it's an important factor. Next, a teacher takes a subject in class and gives a homework so that we can revise it properly and get a proper idea of what's being taught. Because the more we practice, the more we understand, according to the common saying, practice makes a man perfect. Next, homework is not only something that can be done to learn for exams or assessments, because it's something everyone naturally does in order to master something or develop understanding towards something. Like, for example, when we come for a debate, we normally note down points and prepare a speech, practice it. That's called doing your homework. So nobody can ban a human habit like that because it's inborn. Next, homework is not a trouble for students because it motivates a learner to learn more and be practical in future. There can be certain benefits for assigning homework, like students become dutiful and responsible, they learn to manage their time, etc. So they can memorize all points well if they practice or revise any concept at home, and therefore their understanding regarding that lesson becomes stronger. We have maximum 4 to 5 hours in class, and it's very difficult for a person to understand everything taken in that compressed time. That is where homework plays its major role. Homework helps us understand what's being taught, and we have a clear understanding. It helps us make our understanding strong. Doing homework helps a student become self-reliant and independent. The advantages of homework is we get to learn in our own pace, that is, we get to learn concepts in our own convenient way. Also, we can recapitulate the concepts that we didn't understand previously so that our understanding becomes firm. So, doing homework helps us organize, analyze, and improvise our methods of learning and develops our understanding towards a particular subject or a concept. I now conclude by strongly reinforcing my view that though there shouldn't be too much homework, there should be a small amount of homework for us to understand something better, and therefore homework shouldn't be banned on the whole in all schools of India. Thank you, as homework is the teacher's way to find out how smart you are.
You know, Trisha, if ever there was a contest for fast speaking, I think you would be like an absolute certainty to win that. That was fantabulous. Thank you. Thank you very much, Trisha. Aniruddha, it's your turn to speak. Aniruddha, of course, is from the Heritage School. Welcome, Aniruddha.
I am Aniruddha Bandapatna from the Heritage School, here to convince you why homework should be banned in every school in India. I'm aware that my views may upset our teachers present here, but trust me, I speak from my heart, and if I'm not able to convince you, I will go back to do my homework immediately, just as this enjoyable event concludes. First, I will ask a question. What is the purpose of homework in a student's life? Is it just about coming back from school every day, sitting in the corner of our room and copying information? I'm not averse to the process of learning when we are back home from school. What I want us to ponder about is whether this process of gaining knowledge is the best way for children to learn. Unfortunately, in many schools, homework is just about copying things. It is not an interesting, fun, and innovative method of learning. I would never advocate for homework to be banned if it was actually going out to the balcony or garden and observing a leaf of a plant, and not just copying the diagram of a leaf from the book into a copy. I think that there are better ways for us to retain information. A natural way of learning could be by forming small groups and having a lively discussion on a topic. Another important point is that excess homework causes too much stress. Even working professionals are allowed to take a day off, switch off their laptop, go back home and rest. But for students, if we don't complete our homework, we will face the consequences the next day. Let me narrate a personal anecdote. Recently, I was set to go to this really nice hotel. But, however, that day, our teachers gave us piles of traditional written homework, and thus I had to take my homework with me to the hotel. And I could neither enjoy my evening nor get my homework done in peace. People generally associate good students with the marks they score. This is not true. It is not only about the marks you score, but also the knowledge we acquire with the right attitude and positivity. I ask you, how much of this is due to the homework that our teachers give us? We do not have a suitable homework system for the weaker students who tend to struggle not only at school but at home too, because they become scared of homework, they avoid it and stop doing it. During this pandemic, we are experiencing a different kind of schooling. All work is homework. And then how do we cope when there is no differentiation between classwork and homework? Where do we draw the line? I know that ban is a very strong word. However, I'm advocating for the present system of homework to be banned so that children don't miss out on the joys of growing up. Let us have a chance to cherish this golden period of our life. Remember the joke that the letters of homework stand for half of my energy wasted on random knowledge. And on that note, I conclude. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aniruddha. That was extremely well articulated. So we have Radha Unmesh, who's joining us from Chirek International School, who will be speaking against the motion.
There are limited hours during the school day, and it is very difficult for teachers to determine whether each and every student has understood all the concepts taught. Homework helps both teachers as well as students to achieve exactly this. Respected judges, moderator, and my worthy opponents, I am Radha Mune of Chirek International School, Hyderabad. So here I am presenting to you why homework should not be banned in every school in India. Homework helps in reinforcing the knowledge taught during school hours. It helps in retention of the same knowledge through a lot of practice. Homework allows children to work at their own pace, thereby increasing their learning time. It allows students to master time management as they are expected to do a given task in the given time. It teaches us to establish priorities and responsibilities as a student. I think you all will agree with me when I say that homework teaches us the importance of planning, organization, and independence of work. Homework can gain students confidence in their own skills and gives them the opportunity to acquire some new ones. It can also help students deal with the stress they may feel during examinations. The ability to research is also improved through homework in the form of projects and presentations. Homework can drastically reduce the screen time of a student, as the time spent on homework will otherwise be spent on screens by most students. Homework helps a student to go in depth about a subject, thereby increasing general knowledge as well. Moving on to the teacher's perspective of things. Teachers can easily tally whether a student has understood all the concepts taught by looking at their homework. As students come to teachers to seek clarification or further guidance on their assignment, the interaction between the student and the teacher also increases. Homework is a great way for a family to be involved in the student's learning process. Parents can easily be aware of their child's understanding of a subject through homework. Homework is a very fundamental means of connecting the school, the parent, the teacher, and the student in the most effective ways. Some studies show that students who do regular homework don't only perform better in the measures of academics and during exams, they also learn broader life skills and learn to associate hard work with long-term rewards. They learn to think critically, solve problems, and even develop an understanding of the issues that our current society faces. I would now like to conclude by saying in my own words, join the homework rally, promote this educational tool so students can keep learning both in and out of school. Thank you.
You know, some people quote Voltaire, some people quote Aristotle, but of course, you quote yourself. And that's fabulous. Thank you very much, Radha. Our next speaker, whom I'm going to invite to speak for the motion, is Lakshana Udayashankar. Lakshana, of course, is from Velamal's Bodhi campus in Kumbakonam. Did I get that right? Lakshana? All right, Lakshana, are you good to go?
Yes, I'm good to go.
All right, your time is now.
All work, no play makes Jack a dull boy. Hello, everyone. A warm afternoon to all the judges, debaters, and the audience. I'm Lakshana Udayashankar of Grade 7 on behalf of Velamal Bodhi Campus, Kumbakonam. I'm here to speak for the topic that homework should be banned. Before I go into my topic, I would like to wish all the other debaters the best of luck. Homework is a set of tasks assigned to the students by their teachers to be done outside the class or at home. Homework has little educational worth and adds nothing to the time spent in school. Some schools and countries don't bother with homework at all, and their results do not seem to suffer from it. Studies show that homework adds nothing to standardized test scores from primary or elementary prelims. International comparison of older students have found no positive relationship between the amount of homework set and the average test scores. If anything, the country with more homework got the worst results. It is stressful and leaves students with no time to read independently. Some research that I found proves that countries or states with no homework don't do bad, but they actually do very good. Finland has banned homework, yet it is deemed as the happiest country in the world and comes at top of the exams. Homework is also almost always done when a child is already tired from the long day of school. As a result, few students are at their best when they sit down in the evening. And they do it by a hurry-fighting fatigue and poor quality of work is produced. Worse still, students have to be up late in the night trying to finish off their homework. Then they come to the school very tired the next day, not ready to learn. Homework takes up a lot of time. Being young is not just about doing schoolwork. It is also about being physically active, exploring the environment through play, doing creative things like music, art, and growing up our talent and build a part in our community. It It is also important for young people to build up their bonds between others, especially family and friends. But homework often squeezes the time available for all these things. There are even high dropout rate in school because of homework. Another reason why students hate homework is because they believe that they do not have enough time to complete all their homework. Most students receive tasks from multiple teachers throughout the day. Most students also hate homeworks because it's persistence used by the educators. Mainly, it's hard to see if a student's homework is really done by himself. Secondly, many people copy off the homework from their friend and many help from their parents, which means that they doesn't do it independently. It would be much better to have a mixture of work at the class itself without giving homework, which helps the students develop skills, which includes learning independently. Also, there is evidence. Did you know that the estimated 17% of kids don't do their homework by their own? An estimated 20% of kids copy their homework at school. Moreover, did you know that over 70% of the kids don't like to do their homework? Even a famous author named Justin Colson does want homework to be banned. He said they spend enough time in the class. Now I strongly believe that homework should be banned, and because it causes stress and depression to the students. There are even 2 death cases because of the homework. From this, I would like to conclude my debate. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Lakshana. 5 people have spoken. I finally heard the words hate homework from a child. I believe you. Anyway, Rishikesh, if you're back on the grid, would you like to speak against the motion? Are you good to go?
Hello, I am Rishikesh. I am from Hindustan International School, Karapakam. I am studying in class 7. I am against the motion that is homework should not be banned. The first reason why homework should not be banned is because homework helps us to make a master. There is no practice, then there will be worst in studying. Then it also teaches good habits. Before the class, we can interact with the teacher. I will build that homework. Homework should be not banned, especially where where in a virtual class we can't relate issues like internet issues, so we can't hear homework help us to even study more than the concept. It helps us to understand the concept in easy way. So homework should not be banned. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rishikesh. Despite the internet issue, we finally got you to speak and we're very happy to have had you. Our next speaker, who's going to be speaking for the motion, is Riddhi Prasad. Riddhi Prasad is from Kensri School in Bangalore. Riddhi, if you're with us, it's all yours.
Good evening to one and all present here. I'm Riddhi, and today I'm strongly against the motion homework should be banned in every school in India. First of all, what is homework? Homework is an additional activity or termed by teacher a practice for the students. This is usually done after school and at home. So why should homework be banned? First things first, we spend almost 6 to 8 hours in school. That means most of our day is already gone studying. So we hardly have 3 to 4 hours to do some extracurricular activities, to go out and play. And this just becomes a burden for us. And homeworks, they provide a lot of additional stress to students. For example, if I take a 10th standard student right now and ask them whether they like homework, they're going to deny. They already have so much of pressure, boards, pre-boards. How do you expect a student to even do homework at the same time? It's impossible. This also gives us it doesn't help the student learn. It demotivates the students. It just becomes a burden at the end. They either copy. And this also increases screen time. As we see, we hardly spend time on our computers except for our classes. And if we have a homework, if our parent doesn't know it, no one knows it, the only other option is left is the computer. So it's obvious that the child is going to do that. And did you know, if you revise a concept only for 30 seconds, it's enough to store it in your long-term memory. We don't have to go home and revise the whole thing again, only if you have spent enough time in school. If we have banned Homeworks, what happens? Students spend a lot of time doing homeworks at their home. Mostly when it is usually done at night because students go out and play during evening. So they come home tired at night and complete their homework. This gives them a terrible sleep cycle. If homeworks are banned, then students will have a much better sleep cycle compared to when homeworks were there. If we have homeworks, this is not going to give us time for ourselves. Me as a student, I would say that I really don't like homework. That's because there are schools in India which give us such long homeworks, which spend so much time. And due to this, we don't have time for our family, our friends. And the teachers think that this is a very good practice. This is not. This is definitely not. And it just gives them the idea that we're doing better. And if they say that students who are doing homework regularly are doing better, no, they're doing much worse. Due to homework, it's also affecting a lot of our mental health, which is very bad for us. As all of these points, I would like to conclude by saying that homework should be banned in every school in India. Thank you.
Thank you, Riddhi. Mental health has made its entry into the equation, but that is very illuminating. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Advait Anand, who is geographically probably the closest to me. He's a student of Padma Seshadri Balabhavan or PSBB in T Nagar. Advait, you will be speaking against the motion. Floor is yours.
To quote Thomas Alva Edison, a genius is a talented person who does his homework. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Advait Anand here to strongly oppose the motion homework should be banned in all schools. The major stakeholders in the debate are the children who are students and the teachers. We are talking about the students who are in the most playful stage in their life. A mechanism such as homework will incentivize the student to do some learning at home and apply their minds to do productive things. While our side completely agrees with the fact that children should also socialize, play, and do other things just other than academics, homework only ensures that children don't get addicted to playing all the time. This inculcates a sense of diligence and discipline in the child. Allocating time to do homework each day helps the student to be a consistent performer and manage their time well. Apart from what is being taught in school, homework provides the basis for a student to apply his own mind and even explore new dimensions to a certain concept. Else, it will be a monotonous effort just from the teacher's end. In a growing world of gaming and technological developments, it is very easy for the child to get absorbed into the world of entertainment. However, we all know that in the long run, this is definitely going to affect the child's development. Homework ensures that the student stays in touch with the concept and keeps revising it. This avoids them having to burn the midnight oil just a day before the exam, cramming up all information. It inculcates the habit of self-learning from a very young age. At home, the student is expected to do the homework by himself. In contrast to an environment where there is a teacher to always guide you at school, at home, students adopt their own unique methods of learning through the homework given. For the high achievers, it is a mechanism to enhance their skills and practice. For those who are less focused and playful, it is a device to channelize their time and energy to do efficient and productive work, thus putting them back on track. The very fact that homework has a submission deadline or internal marks are factors that would motivate the students to push themselves harder. While proposition might object to this, saying that this is definitely going to put pressure and stress on the student, we would like to tell you that a little nudge in the right direction will only enhance productivity, though it seems a little demanding in the beginning. This builds perseverance, confidence, and motivation to perform better. From a very young age, starting from having to feed food by saying you will get a lollipop, children perform better if there is a certain reward attached to its result. Homework does exactly that. Providing homework gives the teacher more time during class hours to go beyond the text or do something interesting like a practical hands-on experiment. This exposes them to diverse and in-depth learning. So friends, Don't you think that homework lays the foundation for independent learning in a child? Don't you think that homework can help a child strengthen his concepts? Don't you think that homework can kindle one's creativity with every activity that one does? Hence, don't you think that homework, although seems relentless for the child, benefits him in the long run? I leave that for you to ponder. Schooling without homework is like a popcorn without butter. Still doable, but doesn't have the same effect. Supremely proud to oppose.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Advait. That was very illuminating. I'm now going to call on Kushi Jain. Kushi is, of course, from Sushila Birla Girls School, all the way up in Kolkata. Kushi will be speaking for the motion. Kushi, the floor is yours.
A very good evening to one and all present here. The motion for today's debate is homework should be banned in all schools in India, and I will be speaking for it. I am grateful to edX Live Kids for giving me this opportunity to express my thoughts through this platform. I would like to begin by quoting a few lines from a poem written by Jack Prelutsky titled Homework, Oh Homework. Homework, oh homework, I hate you, you stink. I wish I could wash you away in the sink. If only a bomb could explode you to bits. Homework, oh homework, you are giving me fits. To begin with, let me first define some important concepts. So homework, in my opinion, is half of my energy wasted on random knowledge. This argument is of paramount importance that the amount of homework given by teachers can often become daunting on students when assignments are given in abundance on a consistent basis. Not only that, but homework also eats up all your free time and can impede social and creative activity. Homework is like a strain on families because of parent work schedules and student participation in extracurricular. Not to mention the fact that teachers have little control over who actually does the work when homework goes home. Homework can frustrate students who have not yet grasped the concepts being learned in classes. I would further like to elaborate on this point by quoting a line written by Lily Tombin, which says, I like a teacher who gives you something to take home to think about besides homework. Homework is mostly a repetition of what is done in class, and this often leads students towards developing distaste for academic experiences. The next argument I would like to state is that banning homework would give families more time to spend together. It has been statistically proven that 1 in 3 households with children say that the homework assignments given by school are the primary source of stress in houses. It is evident by the fact that student health is adversely impacted by the homework assignments. This can lead to development of mental health problems. It can reduce a child's self-esteem and disrupt their ability to learn new skills in other areas of life outside their classroom. We Indians need to get over the traditional method of homework and adapt to modern classroom teaching techniques. Banning homework would provide more time for peer socialization. Children end up spending their entire evening finishing their homework so as to turn it in before the due date. Moreover, those students who are tied down with loads of homework tend to have irregular sleep patterns, which can lead to sleep deficits and can create chronic learning issues. It may even lead to problems with emotional control, obesity, and attention problems. Banning homework would remove this issue entirely. As a final word, let me summarize my point of view by mentioning the name of Mr. Robert O. Nevilis, the man who founded homework as a punishment for students. But now, the schools use it as a routine thing. This is insane, isn't it? My argument makes it crystal clear that homework does more harm than good. And it all boils up to the fact that homework should be banned in all schools, not only in India, but also across the globe. I would like to conclude today's debate with a question for everyone present here. Do we really need homework? And if so, then who is benefiting from it? Thus, I leave you all here with this food for thought. Thank you.
You know, Kushi, someone very wisely once said the line between insanity and being extremely intelligent was very, very thin and right down the center. I think you've absolutely illustrated which side of the line you're on. Thank you very much, Kushi, for your comments. Yashas, did you manage to pull up your video?
Yes, sir.
All right, Yashas, our final speaker for the day, Yashas S, will be speaking against the motion. Yashas is from Kautilya Vidyalaya. Thank you very much for taking the trouble to get your tech issues sorted out. Yashas, the floor is yours. You are the last speaker today, and your time starts on the ping.
Good evening all, I am Yashash S from grade 7 of Kautilya Vidyalaya, Mysore. Now I am going to talk about homework should not be banned. Homework aims to help us master certain skills. If there is no practice, then excellence will not be achieved. Homework is important because it helps students when they grow up. It will become more responsible and independent. Also, it will help students development of time management skills. Homework will help students with the self-esteem. Completing homework in a timely manner will help your child develop self-trust and self-confidence. The inspiration to work harder on the next project occurs when kids feel good about their accomplishment. Homework should not be banned because it helps improve grades and test scores. Grades are majorly significant when they come gradually and becoming successful. Homework helps students practice and improve, earning themselves a better grade. It improves students' thinking and memorization skills. Homework helps students learn to use resources such as libraries, reference materials, and computer websites to find information. Homework helps parents learn more about what their child is learning in schools. It allows parents to communicate about what he or she is learning. It encourages parents to spark their children's enthusiasm. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yashas. And once again, thank you everybody. That was absolutely fabulous. I think I'm going to give you a big hand because I think that was absolutely awesome. I don't know if you guys can hear me clapping, you're a little far away, but I think that was kick-ass. I'm sorry for the language, I don't know if that's appropriate for your ages, but I think it's definitely the word that I would use. We're now going to go into a rapid round of rebuttals right now. I've already explained what a rebuttal is, but for those of you who are not too very certain, I'm going to just tell you very, very little words. A rebuttal is basically somebody who said something from the opposite side whom you disagree with. You have the option of naming them and saying, I disagree with you because of this, or you can just say, one of my friends, or if you don't consider them friends, then one of my co-debaters from the other side said this, and this is why I disagree with them. All right? We're going to follow the same order that we did, so I'm going to call you guys out. You've got 2 minutes on the clock. You can use just 1 minute of it, or you can use all 2 minutes of it, but don't go over your time because we're on a timer. All right? And so we begin with our round of rebuttals. Our first speaker, Guru Mitra, who spoke for the motion, it's your turn to make a rebuttal.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. This is Guru Mitra from the Proposition House, here to present my rebuttal. There were many points that the opposition members said that made me snatch my notepad and write it down because I definitely had disagreements, a lot indeed, with that. The first point that made me write it down was homework is not a trouble to students, and while it is just the opposite to us as we feel it as students, the moment we reach home, the only thing that keeps nagging my head is how much homework do I have for this day and how many homeworks should I have to complete within this time limit, because I have been hoping on going out to play with my friends. So homework is definitely a trouble to students, for we have a lot to do, and we also have other activities apart from doing the homework, like other activities which will comprise of us doing different things. The second point was that students get more independent, but this is entirely false because we get more dependent on answers from our mobiles than getting independent in doing our work. The next point was that homeworks help deal with stress in exams. The opposition team members notice the stress that we feel in exams, but they fail to notice the stress that we feel while doing the loads of homeworks that we have at the moment. And another debater mentioned that some studies show that children who do their homeworks regularly do good in their exams, while there are others that show that students who do students who do their homeworks regularly have no connection with getting good grades. And there was another speaker who said that we understand the concepts easier, and understanding a concept easier comes only with listening to the teacher. It has nothing to do with cramming your head for answers or checking the mobile and copying the answers. Thirdly, homework makes sure that we do not get addicted to play all the time. The opposition team members insist on us.
Gurumitra, your time is up. Would you like to wrap that up in 5 seconds?
I'd like to end my rebuttal. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Gurumitra. The next person on our rebuttal is Trisha Menon. Trisha, if you're good with your rebuttal. Trisha, the floor is yours.
I would like to start my rebuttal by opposing Guru Mitra, who said that homework does not help us to do anything else. She said that we don't have time to play, or we don't have leisure time. So that's false, because homework does not stop us from doing anything. It's just an extra part of the day. So doing homework, like, we can help ourselves by maintaining a golden value called time management. So we can manage our time by allotting certain time for homework, for leisure time, for playtime, for family time. If we do that, we get more organized and we can lead a happy life. Next, I would like to oppose Riddhi Prasad, who said homework demotivates a student, which is absolutely false, because doing more homework helps us practice our concepts better, and that helps our understanding to get firm. So when we get a sum or a question right, we automatically feel happy, and that makes us feel more interested in the concept. That helps us more. So that helps us, it motivates us to learn more, and it helps us get good marks in the exam. And next, Kushi Jain asked a question: do we really need homework, and who benefits from it? Yes, we need homework because it helps us. As I said before, it helps us in our understanding, because this not only comes in the exam but also in our day-to-day life, in our everyday life. It helps us. Extra information always helps. And who benefits from it? None other than us, because as our teachers say, they are not teaching for themselves, they are teaching for us. All the extra information, as well as the information we need, all of it helps us. Like, when we grow up, if we get any question, we can answer it properly, because we have learned properly in class. And don't we feel happy when we get full marks? Yes, we do. And to get that, we need to put in some effort, because there is no gain without any pain. We need to put in effort. Only then yes, homework is a bit stressful, but then we need to put in effort. And now I would like to conclude my rebuttal. Thank you.
Thank you, Trisha. I could see Kushi very furiously writing down notes the minute you called her name. Aniruddha, who was our third speaker, could I call on you to make your rebuttal, please?
First of all, I would like to point out the first speaker said that homework is not. Teachers. Homework is a way to find out how much a student is studying. Well, suppose studies have revealed that most of the homework is just copying the things from the book into the copy. So how can the teachers find how much the student has studied if it's just copying the information down? Secondly, someone mentioned that homework is helpful. How is it so helpful if it actually causes so much stress? And how is it helpful if homework is just copied from the net blindly? And then another speaker mentioned that it helps keep revising. Suppose a homework has been given, helps us to keep revise it. Then isn't it just once don't we just do the homework once? We don't do homework multiple times the same question. We just do it once, and most probably at night when we feel tired. And on that note, I would like to end my rebuttal.
Thank you, Aniruddha. That was on the dot. Could I now call on Radha to make her rebuttal? Radha Unmesh.
Sure, sir. So, my worthy opponent Guru Mitra said that there is no real benefit from homework. I would like to disagree with her, because it teaches us to deal with the stress and helps us to give time management. Homework actually creates a simulated environment for the future, where we will actually have deadlines to submit assignments or a project. That will really help us in the future as well. And even when we attain jobs, we need to work together, which can be learned through homework in the form of projects and presentations. My co-debater Lakshana also said that it squeezes time, as a lot of teachers give homework together. But no, students can actually learn to allot time for a particular subject and then complete the work in the given time, which is really essential in the long run for all students. I would also like to counter the point of my co-debater Khushi, who said that it causes frustration for some students. I strongly disagree with this, as homework can be a wake-up call for some students, as they can self-assess if they have understood the concept or not. If they realize that they haven't, they can actually go to the teacher and get their doubts clarified, which is really good for them in preparation of exams and other co-curricular activities. I would like to end my rebuttal here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Lakshana, it's your turn now. Would you like to do your rebuttal?
And first point is that one of my opponents said it helps them to be independent, but I totally disagree with that, because most students, they copy of their homework. As I told, estimated 20% of students copy their homework from their friends, and others they search it from net and reference materials and from their parents. They all don't do it independently. Some do it independent while others they do it dependent. So it makes most students as dependent ones. And one student told it's an extra part of our day. No, it is not an extra part of our day. After we go to a long day of school, going at morning 7 and coming to home at 4, it can't be an extra part of our day, because we already spend like 6 hours in our school. Then the rest time would be for other physical activities and extracurricular and family time. Doing more homework makes us stressful, because homeworks or like doing it for all day long and all day night, because multiple teachers give homework. This makes students really stressful. I have my own experience with that. Once my teacher gave me multiple homework and I was not able to do that. And when we go to school and I explained her this is because most teachers gave this multiple homework, she would give us punishment still then. Yeah, most students they get full mark because of homework. They like to get full mark, but they don't like homework, because homework makes them stressful. By thinking that we have more homework, it gives them mental sickness. So that makes them not study well and prepare well by reading for the exams. Now I would like to conclude my rebuttal. Thank you.
Moving on, Riddhi Prasad, you got one honorable mention. Would you like to do your rebuttal now?
Yes, thank you. One of my co-debaters had mentioned about that homework is like, it's not trouble and things. It is very troublesome. And it is like, it's very long. We have almost 6 subjects. And do you think homework is less? No. If one teacher assigns us about 10 activities, 10 into 6 are 60 things to do. That's not less for me. Independent, one of the debaters mentioned that we'll be more independent if you're using so many sources. If you're like using only the internet or only our parents' help, from where do you think we're being independent? I don't see anywhere as such. And they say that it's very stressful, you see. Like we have so much of homework, and it's not like we have stress only before the exam. No, homeworks are throughout the year. The whole year we get homeworks. In like so many schools in India, we also have homeworks during the holidays, the summer vacations. Then when do you think we're free and we're not stressed, like with stress? And if you say it's an extra part of the day, no, you're completely wrong. It's just my point of view, not being harsh, but it's almost the whole day. 6 to 8 hours, we're going for 8 to 9 hours of sleep. Do you think that's less? Not to me. And if you say that teachers can find out how much we've learned, that is also incorrect, because it's not like we are doing it on our own. It's like we're using some other sources. And that comes same with self-assist. And if we look at, in most of schools, we have, dance and other extracurricular like sports. Don't you think we should have homework for them also? In my whole life, till now for sports, I haven't got homework at all. So I think that is also should be enforced. Yes, I would like to end my rebuttal. Thank you.
No, I said if you've really never had homework in your life.
I mean, I'm telling it from like my experience. So.
No, we really should talk more. I need to find out where your school is. Okay, Advait, it's your turn, my friend.
Yes.
Rebuttal.
All due respect to Khushi Jain and Gurumutra from Team Proposition, they emphasized on the fact that homework adds pressure and stress. I would like to rebut this point by saying that homework is an extension of what you do at school. Hence, if a child pays proper attention during class hours, he would never find it pressurizing and would help him revise his concepts. These students who complain about the homework given are the ones who are complacent, not focusing during class hours. These children end up complaining any little challenge that approaches them, starting from homework to work pressure. For instance, the years 2012 and 13 were not successful for the Indian captain Virat Kohli. He had to struggle hard, rectify his mistakes, do his homework, and rise from his failure. And if he had shown complacency, complaining about the pressure and stress he was going through, he wouldn't be where he is today. Hence, one must build the maturity to understand the benefits of homework, though it seems to be demanding in the beginning. And I would like to end my rebuttal with that.
Thank you very much. I must say it's a bit strange that you're in Chennai Super Kings territory and talking about Virat Kohli, but we will get into that later. Let me now call on Kushi Jain, who has got the maximum number of mentions from her co-debaters to defend herself. Kushi Jain.
Kushi Jain would like to start my rebuttal by mentioning a point where my co-debaters Radha, Advait and Trisha had said that through homework, teachers can tally whether the subjects are being understood by the students. But I want to ask my dear friends, how can they be so sure of this? Because teachers have little control over who actually does the work when homework goes on. I would also like to mention another point where one of the contestants had said that homework helps us to get good marks. Well, I strongly disagree to this because I believe it is the intelligence, presence of mind, and of course, with a bit of preparation that fetches you good marks. Homework, in my opinion, hampers the holistic development of a child. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kushi. And our final speaker and the final rebuttal, let me call on Yashas. Would you like to make a rebuttal?
One of my opponents said that Finland is one of the happiest country because it doesn't give homework. And according to my research, Finland is in the top 3 or top 5 every year in studies. So what about the first and the second? They are giving them homeworks, which made them come to that place. And homework is a revision of what the teachers have taught in the school to the students. That's all.
Thank you so much, Yashas. And that concludes our round of rebuttals. I'm going to ask everybody who did not debate to give you all a round of applause. Please, gentlemen. We don't have canned applause, so I'm going to give you this. Believe me that we are clapping our hats out. We do have awards for the best speaker, the best rebuttal, and for the most exciting / humorous speaker. So we're going to be giving those out right now. Dr. Rajshri, would you like to say a few words to the kids before both of you make your announcement?
A lot of words have already been said by the kids. I think they were overwhelmingly excellent. So I don't know if I would have been as good as the kids myself. But I did make a few points. The wonderful speaking talents that we have today. I think Indian Express has done a great job of bringing together such amazing kids to be able to give them such a wonderful platform to speak. I think each one, I had a really tough time. In fact, they put me in a very difficult position to actually give you all points, man. Everyone's getting full points. I was like, how am I going to decide the winner if everyone's getting? Yes, it was a very exciting process to see how all of you are thinking about homework. So the points have been given. I think both of us are not going to go back and change any of the points. Just on a lighter note, those of you who spoke against, meaning homework is good. Those of you who said homework needs to be there. How many of you genuinely actually believe homework needs to be there?
I believe the homework needs to be there.
Me too.
Yeah. So yeah, that was just a fun thing, but I understand. I have also grown up doing a lot of homework. I have done, yes, I've done my PhD, so I've done my research, I've done my homework, I've complained about homeworks, I've seen the positive side of homework. So it was very interesting to see how this generation is looking at homeworks and reacting to it. So I have a couple of points that I'd like to discuss. One is the normal context when we actually went to schools, when you all had schools, the pre-COVID era, when all of you went to schools and came back home and did homework. So a lot of you said, you spend so many hours in school and then come back, and then you have again you sit and do your homework again. But the online thing has slightly changed. But some of you also gave us the online version of the argument, where there is gadget addiction, where you're in front of the screen for your classes and again you're in front of the screen for the homework. So there was a little bit of a difference in the way you approach homework, right? In the way you see homework for an online COVID pandemic era versus how you see homework when regular schools happen. So there is a small difference, but I think most of you kind of mixed the two together to kind of give your opinion about what you actually feel about it. Because in terms of the classes now, though they are online, I think the number of hours have reduced, right? Otherwise, school you probably spend from 8 to 4 or something like that. I don't know, 9 to 5. This is the normal school hour, but when you have online classes, I think the number of classes are significantly reduced. So it makes sense probably for you to go back and read up and I don't know. So the dynamics have changed because of the online-offline change. So that kind of got a little mixed up in all of your arguments. Another thought that I have was that I think it varies from school to school, and it's more really about the kind of homework that you all get. If it's just writing pages and pages of answer or just copying from your textbook, it is again very boring, very monotonous, and not interesting at all. Versus, I think when some of you spoke in favor of homework, you were talking about projects and assignments, group activities, teamwork, and things like that. Maybe that becomes more interesting. And it really depends on the teacher or the school as to how they make you interested in the homework, right? If they just say, write this answer 5 times and come, then that can be the worst way to do your homework. Versus if they say, try and do something practically, try and create something on your own and bring it back to school, then that could be an interesting way of learning. So I think it really depends on the teacher and the school about how they build interest or break the interest in the way you study. So those were a couple of points that I had. And in terms of your speech, the way you speak, I think most of you have amazing diction and clarity in the way you speak. I think the way you had these points in order were very, very interestingly done. And a lot of you didn't seem like you were reading it out. So that is the best part. And when you're debating, it's really not about reading out point A, B, C, D. It's really about communicating what you honestly feel. And a lot of you did that really well. I'm not going to take names. I'm not going to mention who did really well, but most of you were really good at being very spontaneous, especially the rebuttal section. And that was the whole debate. I think I really enjoyed that part when you actually started thinking on your own, right? The rest of it, I think you had time to prepare. You had time to think up and discuss and all of that, but this was more spontaneous. And that was very interesting. And another thing, since this is a virtual platform, okay, what you have to keep in mind is that I'm sure you all know about the concept of eye contact. So when you're in person, when you're live talking to a person, you talk to people, you make eye contact with people. So how do you make eye contact on a virtual platform? The best way is to look at the camera. If you look at me, I'm looking at the camera and speaking, which makes it feel like I'm talking to all of you now. Versus, most of us are tempted to look at our own pictures on the screen, right? We all tend to look at our own videos and the way we're looking, or probably observe the other people who are in the meeting when we are speaking. Now that disconnects the way you connect with people. So that brings a small disconnect. So that's a tip I thought I'd like to share with all of you, especially when you're on a digital platform. Make sure you look at the camera when you're speaking and avoid looking at your own image on the screen. Okay, it will seem like I'm looking somewhere. Does this look very impactful if I look somewhere and then if I'm speaking to you, versus I look here and speak to you? So, right, it makes a lot more impact if I look at the camera. Imagine the camera is everybody else. right? So that was something I thought I need to mention. And another point that I got from some of your arguments was about dependence on internet and parents. A lot of you said homework is not really making you independent, and you end up Googling for answers, you end up copying things from the internet. Is that really bad? I don't know. And it's not just my personal opinion. And here, points have been given based on the way you've argued and the way you've put it across. But this is just my personal thought after all the marks have been given. And asking parents for information or checking it on the internet or reading up magazines and books is really not that bad. It really does not make you feel dependent on a gadget, right? It's a great way to explore new information. I did my PhD and I got a significant amount of information from the internet. I could download a lot of journals, I could download a lot of university information and then read it up, right? As long as you know where you get your information from, internet is not all that bad. But if it's just Wikipedia, if you just go to the first link on Google and click on Wikipedia, then it's bad research. Okay, so it's okay to kind of see where you get your information from, and learning how to research is also a very important skill that I think your generation has. We didn't have Google, we didn't have internet at all. So we had to go to the library to look for information. So looking for information from parents or from the internet is not really making you dependent. It's a great way to source new kinds of information, is what I personally feel. But great points there. I think all of you have been thinking on the spot, and I think that was a wonderful thing. And I would really encourage all of you to continue to think on these lines. It's neither, so there's both sides of the coin. It's neither black or white here. So there are some positive points about why we should ban homework, and there are some points about why homework is good. So it's always there, the debate goes on. I think we were also part of debates in our schools about homeworks. But yes, we hope to keep improving. We hope to keep making things more interesting for students. And as students, I think instead of complaining about anything at all, see what positive you can get, see what great things you can achieve by picking up things that is given to you. Right? So look at what you have, and you have a whole world, you have internet at your fingertips. And that if suppose you have a homework on, say, solar system or like the universe, try and explore more about it other than just making sure you complete your homework. Now that is how you probably build your knowledge and make that seem exciting. I know it's easier said than done. I have a daughter too who actually I do have trouble getting her to sit and do the homework. But yes, it's all a part of growing up. It's all a part of learning. Eventually, it's all going to help you become who you will be, right? Your personalities, your thinking, and your approach to the entire world will depend on what you're doing now, how you're thinking now, and how you approach your problems or issues or difficulties. All of these matter, but try and get as much as possible. This is the age for you to learn the most. No matter what, you will not be able to get this kind of learning as you keep growing. This is the age when you can absorb as much as possible. So all the best to you. Go ahead, and you're very, very talented, and go ahead and continue what you're doing. So all the best, and thank you for having me on this platform.
Thank you. Manju, will you be telling us who our three winners are? Our best speaker, our best rebuttal, and the person who was the most exciting or humorous?
So guys, basically I am very embarrassed that I have won a lot of debating competitions primarily by shouting and using my voice. But I really love the way you guys have put forth your points. I also want to tell you that most of debating, you should treat a debating competition like a performance. It's basically like a combination of everything, what you have learned. For example, the topic, I'm sure people who got the topic of homework should not be banned. It's so much more tough to, fight for not banning the homework. So those are the underdogs. So that is where your argument, how you put forth and how convincingly you talk. You will have to take out the information that possibly people didn't know. So those of you who actually got the topic of homework should not be banned. You should have homework. Those guys really had a lot of effort and they did extremely well. Congratulations to all of you. And please remember that in a class of 25 or 30, only I guess 7 or 6 sign up for public speaking and only 2 or 3 make it to the final thing. So please understand that you'll have to work, first of all, your knowledge, your information, how you quote, what you quote, how relatable, sense of humor. I found only 2 or 3 who used sense of humor to sort of, because every argument is quite, with lot of points to talk about. So you'll have to, although everybody is good with their vocabulary, the surveys that they quoted, I think a bit of sense of humor, a couple of them had, and those are obviously the ones who did very well. So make sure you always bring back content to make it very relatable when you speak. So when you're talking about homework, I like some of you who quoted poetry, some of you who quoted surveys. That is exactly how you should do. And yes, all the things like timing and quoting a few from your own life so that it all sounds realistic. These are the small points you should do. But otherwise, fabulous, all of you. So should I announce it here? Okay, the finest point goes to Khushi Jain.
Congratulations, Khushi Jain, for the best point made.
Thank you so much.
For the counter strike, it is Advait.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Congratulations, Advait.
We loved his Virat Kohli example. And for lighter side, it is Radha Mule.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Radha.
Quote yourself again, the quote that you mentioned.
Yeah, sure. Join the homework rally. Promote this educational tool so students can keep learning both in and out of school. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, all 3 of you. What you get is a voucher for ₹1,000 from our gift partner Link Pens. You guys will receive it very shortly, and you can go online and you can buy stationery to your heart's content, and you can use it to write down other people's points in debates like this. Thank you very much, judges. Thank you very much, Dr. Rajshri. Thank you very much, Manju. Thank you, Seema. And thank you each one of you for having taken the time. All the best, and your debate result will be out right after. Take care. All the best. See you guys. Remember, you can vote for your favorite debater right here at www.edxlive.com/debate. Remember, every vote counts. Our voting lines are open for 48 hours, so get voting right now. This debate was brought to you by the Hindustan Institute of Technology and Sciences and MEIL. Every kid has a great story to tell. Have one? Well, we're listening. Send your best story to the New Indian Express's Bookworm Junior Summer Stories Contest, and you could just end up becoming an author over the summer. What are you waiting for? Get writing.